Hi guys, welcome back to Honey We're Home. I am Caroline Crawford Patterson.
Do we have to say our whole names when we do this?
I mean, I think so.
They know who we are. Do you guys know me? No, I'm just kidding. I'm Nicole Pellegrino.
We won't say our names next week, so if you don't hear it, I guess you have to come back to this episode.
You just have to guess, okay? Life is all about guessing, and we're keeping you guessing, okay? Honestly, that's on theme for this.
That is on theme. Life is about guessing. I actually have no idea what I'm doing at any point in time.
No, same. But like, honestly,
what?
It's better when you don't, because if you try to plan too much,
Yeah,
you make plans and God laughs, as we've all learned.
It's true, but I just had like a heart palpitation because I just thought about like, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm Googling things all day long. And then I was like, oh my God, our parents didn't have Google.
I think about that all the time. That's my Roman Empire.
These bitches were going through the Rolodex in the library.
Yeah. Or just like figuring it out on their own.
No, they were going to find the encyclopedias.
Well, my thing I use Google for the most is when something's not working, I just Google, like, there's always an answer on Google. It could be like, why is my toe being stubbed when I walk outside on the sidewalk? And literally there would be an answer. Like, it could be the most
AI thing that comes up, like the thing that answers your question when you Google, like before you see any site. You know what I'm talking about? Like, it just answers your question in like the 3 sentences at the very top.
Yeah.
You don't even have to click on a site. That's what I love.
Yeah, same. But on that note, something you can't Google is what we're about to tell you, which is, as you guys know, a couple episodes ago, I forget exactly when, but I came on here and cried to you all about what I've been going through, which is IVF. And which, when I say IVF, I mean going through the freezing of the embryos, the egg follicle stimulation. Like, I was in the thick of that when we recorded that episode. As you guys know, we've, mentioned it here and there on subsequent episodes, but I haven't really given like a full, here's the status, here's what happened after that. So we thought we would do that today, because that's all I get asked about lately. So
okay. So since then, and I feel like you've done more than one round of IVF. Can you give us a slight update on whatever you feel comfortable sharing with us? How did it go? Where you're at? How you're feeling?
I can. Okay. So yeah. So as you said, I did 2 rounds, just for those of you who might not have listened. Like, so basically in October, I went through round 1 of these stimulations. It was about 2 weeks worth, I forget, give or take. And we recorded the crying episode, the telling the truth episode at the end after my retrieval of that first round. And I had given you guys an update that we just had not gotten as many embryos as we had expected or wanted. And I just so did not see that coming. Mike and I
Did you share that when we recorded this episode that it was like the next day or the morning of that you found out the results?
I forget, but just so you guys know, it was okay. We had recorded right after I found out the results of the blastocyst stage, which it was like a week after my egg retrieval. And then, so that was right before we were going into the genetic testing. And it just basically, I won't tell you specific numbers and bog you down with that stuff, but we had a huge amount of embryos to start, and they dropped significantly down to that stage. And I was just like, Mike and I were both like, what the actual fuck?
Yeah.
And, it's different for everybody. Everybody's body's different. Some people get freaking 6 embryos round 1 and they're done forever. Some people get no embryos and we ended up, I'll just say, whatever. We ended up from that round getting 3, which was really good, which we were so grateful for. But when we recorded that episode, we had found out that we had 3 from like freaking, I forget the number, but like 12. And it just was, and 3, even though to us and to anybody who's going through IVF, 3 is amazing and a lot. And we were happy with that. I was still so upset and literally depressed for 3 days. I tell everybody I was having panic attacks throughout the night. Call me dramatic. I don't care. I don't care, because I was gasping for air throughout the night. Like I haven't had panic attacks like that since my mom died. Like I was literally freaking out. And it was only
I
because
also think there's a like importance to add like context to that is that it's like your first retrieval, it's your first news. And I do just kind of like quickly want to say that you had a lot of solace and support from like doctor family members, because sometimes the way that the doctor or the assistants or the nurses will give you news or whatever, it's like not fully contextualized with what certain things mean. So it can
yeah,
feel like I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, you were very scared because you'd lost pretty much 80% of what you thought were the fertilized eggs. It was totally against what they had told you they thought would happen. And then the way they delivered the news and about the viability of the eggs was
yeah.
really not on par and extremely, I don't mean to be aggressive, but it was in retrospect, like it was very fear mongering for you. Like,
Yes. And just to set the record straight, it wasn't our doctor. I really don't want anybody thinking
no,
like we love her to death. There was someone on the phone, one of the nurses who told us the news used like the words that your embryo, I said this in the last episode, embryos grew horribly, and then like told us about the grading of them. There is so much information you get with this process, like the grading of embryos, for example. And she was like B grades or whatever. And then but like they weren't that, I forget the exact terms they used, but like they basically like weren't great quality in essence.
yeah, she was like
And
they're a terrible grade to say the least, is basically like
something
she
like that.
essentially implied you could not use any of them.
So
So
I'm sitting there like depressed, thinking we have three shit embryos and that's all we're ever getting and whatnot. And like you said, thank God I had other people who have gone through this and family members who are doctors to reassure me. And then even like a couple weeks later, I was at another appointment and talking to one of the other nurses there at NYU. And she was like, oh, she informed me, she was like, New York has the hardest grading system. A B means an A. Like we don't give A's here. And I was like, oh, see, that would have been wonderful to know when I was crying about horribly graded embryos.
yeah.
And, but like, so yeah, it's all in context and it was just wild. So that's, I guess, a tip for anybody going through it. Just like, don't take all the information you're getting at face value and definitely do your research, talk to people because it might not be as bad as you think. But that said, if you want to be an emotional wreck throughout the process, by all means, please do, because that's the thing. Like with me, everybody's like, it's so hard on you and the body. Yes, it was. Yes, I'm still breaking out. Yes, I still feel like my face is bloated from everything. It's a whole, but for me, it was the ups and downs of it all and the emotions and the hormones messing with your head of it all that kind of affected me a lot. And you're finding out all this information. But yeah, that is a key point, is that like, it all depends on how you're taking it.
So between round one and round two, because you've completed your second round of IVF now, what did you do? What did you add on to like what you were doing
Yes.
to help? Or I know in your case, some of what you can speak to is like reduce stress.
Yeah. So from that first round, we went right into the second. I know I mentioned that before, but um, that was basically, for those of you who haven't heard, research shows that there's additive effects going into a back-to-back round. So we were like, all right, let's just freaking do it, let it rip in early November, and went into that second round hoping that we would get to our goal number of embryos, which, again, for context, the reason we weren't satisfied with 3 embryos is because we eventually want 3 kids. And we've been advised by many people to get at least 6 to 9 embryos, because that is 2 to 3 embryos per kid. Because when you transfer them, not all of them might stick. Depends on everybody. But so, yes, to answer your question, we went back to back right into that second round, hoping and praying that it would be our last, because nobody likes to do this. And yeah, so we had a lot more luck with the second round, which I'm so happy to say we are done. We've reached our goal number. Thank God. We have like the perfect amount, not too much, even because that's a whole mind fuck in itself. If you get like too many, then you feel bad. It's a whole thing. It's this whole thing is a mind fuck. But we are happy with what we have now. So we're done. So yeah, to your point, we definitely went into this one being like, all right, that's it. We've got to really minimize stress. The first round, we were moving, we were going through so much. We were like, I don't
Not
know,
sleeping.
not sleeping. Yeah. So I was like, that's it. Like, if I'm going to give myself permission to rest, this is the time. Round two, baby. We're doing it. Like, I'm going to do everything in my power to not do this again. So all the stuff that I did, overall, just a conscious effort to be way less stressed and slow the F down. So that means sleeping more for me, like getting to bed by 10 p.m. instead of by midnight, just getting to bed, letting myself sleep in, which is tough for me.
You weren't drinking. You stopped drinking.
Stopped drinking. I really cut down on caffeine. So did Mike. Mike did everything, all of these with me, by the way. I like made him. So
Yeah.
and he was willing to, obviously.
It takes two to tango. So
Very true. So we cut down significantly on caffeine. I'm talking like a couple coffees a week, not even one per day, which is crazy for us because we at least do one per day. Refined sugar. I was like reading stuff online and I was like, it's not good for you ever. So I really tried to cut down on that. I started acupuncture, which you were so happy about.
I know.
I mean,
I was thrilled.
And guys, quick disclaimer as I'm saying all this, two things. One, again, we're not doctors. We haven't read formal studies, at least I haven't. So like take this all with a grain of salt. Two, you might be doing all these things if you're going through IVF and you might have a shit round and get absolutely nothing. And that doesn't mean that you did anything wrong. It could be luck when people get things. It could be chance. It could be just your body makeup. Everybody's so different. So like if you're sitting there and you're like, damn, I'm doing all the things Nicole's mentioning and I'm not having a good round, please don't beat yourself up because this is just what I did.
That's
but yeah, so acupuncture, I mean, you're a huge proponent of it, obviously got me going to Within. Mike and I both started that. We missed the past couple weeks, but we miss it because all the things you rave about it are so true. Like truly, it's great. I leave
when they do like the trigger release of your muscles and you're like, oh, it feels
Yeah.
like somebody just like harvested the knot out of your body.
Yes. Mike felt the release more than me. I didn't even like feel the physical but even just to like meditate and de-stress, like I think that just added to the whole overall like help of it all.
Which thing do you listen to on the headphones?
They give me like a guided meditation.
Is it a girl?
I think, yeah.
I have a piece of tea. So the mom from Spy Kids goes to Within and she recorded one of the good meditation at Within is the voice of the mom from Spy Kids. And it's
got celebrities up in there.
It is so soothing hearing her talk to you. It sounds just like she did in the movie. It's like the nicest,
so niche and so random and funny.
But it's such a funny like tidbit of information. Anyways, it does matter which one you pick because
I'm gonna ask for that one. I'm gonna be like, give me the Spy Kids one.
Yeah.
And then so like just saying no to things. I like didn't go out much. I like really I still like had a life, don't get me wrong, but I just like prioritized my health. Workout wise, didn't work out. You can't really while you're doing the stimulations, you can't do like high impact. So I did a lot of walking, low impact workouts, that kind of thing. But health wise, like I took specific vitamins throughout. Some people are a huge believer in vitamins. I personally am. Some people think they don't work. So like whatever. I did the Parallel Health egg freezing support pack. I like randomly found them online, got them. It's like CoQ10, a multivitamin. I forget what else. It's like they're, any sort of like packaged vitamins are a little overpriced. So you could literally just buy CoQ10 and
the stuff in it.
Yeah. But Yeah, I did those. And then this NDA supplement called True Niagen that my sister-in-law's like fertility specialist at her work recommended. I did that as well. I don't really know what it does, but something with making your cells younger. And I might keep taking it to like make me look younger. And then there was another one
Wait,
that
can it help your face?
I don't know. I don't
Wait,
we have
what
to
it
look. It's an
okay, wait, what is it called again?
NAD supplement. I said NDA.
Oh,
Whoops. I meant
oh,
NAD.
NADs. Wait, haven't we heard this online? Like, are you taking NADs?
Yeah, it's they were like viral at one point, I think.
Okay, wait. So they make your cells younger.
I
I mean,
could be so
I'm not a
wrong.
doctor. I'm gonna look it up later, you guys, but I
Yeah,
just
like
have a
don't even
very
quote me
serious
on that.
question. I'm looking personally, I'm on the hunt for the Lindsay Lohan, Donatella Versace freaking effect of
Yeah. So
reverse
maybe,
my
but those were actually recommended to me in an email from a legit specialist. So yeah. And anything you take, get verified by your doctor, by the way, you guys.
yeah. They do injections of NAD.
Yeah, I
Yours
think
were a pill.
celebrities get those, I think, or like Haley Bieber.
Yours was a pill.
Correct.
Okay, keep
Um,
going.
but I also like I started these all like maybe midway through my first cycle. So I don't even know if they fucking worked by my second because vitamins often take like 3 months. So again, take it all with a grain. I get a lot of people asking me like just starting IVF, what do I need? What do I do? Um, I would say like the biggest thing you need is to give yourself grace. I know that's so woo and not a tangible thing, but just give yourself grace, give yourself permission to rest and know that like you are such a badass for going through this. You're putting your body through it, you're putting your mental health through it. Like you just know that it's for good reason and it's the fight is going to be worth it. And for those of you out there that are like listening to this and you're like this bitch did 2 rounds and like I'm on round 7, that's I just my heart goes out to you and you're a badass because this ain't no walk in the park and it ain't no joke. So oh, and then I guess the current status of where we are, everybody's like,
Yeah,
well, when are you getting pregnant? I'm not pregnant right now, just so you know. For those of you that saw me like with a literal martini in hand over the weekend on my Insta story. Um, so as I mentioned, we got our goal number of embryos. We feel happy about that. We've been trying naturally. We still are. Who knows? By some grace of God miracle, who knows? Maybe we'd get
I'm
pregnant.
convinced.
Yeah, like Caroline thinks we're going to, but
Yeah, I think you're
we're
accidentally gonna get pregnant.
we're not like tracking. I'm not tracking anymore. I'm not doing like I'm just gonna have sex with my husband, you know?
Yeah, that's got to be a
Um
relief.
yeah. So yeah, I right now we're in holiday mode. We're just kind of taking a second to recover and reassess and we will transfer at some point probably in the new year, but I don't want to like tell you guys when because truly I don't even know exactly when and it is a process. I have to like do an ultrasound. I have to do like a lot of steps. Um so yeah. And I want to keep some element of fucking surprise in the world, you know? I don't want to be like
Yeah.
it and I've told
I
people
mean, you don't
too.
really want people like, I don't think anybody wants this. And I think that am I misremembering, but I feel like we got an email about this
Mhm.
um from a listener who was going through it, who didn't want to tell even family members or in-laws or something that they were
Yeah.
going through the IVF process or like where they were in it, just because you don't want people being like, so how did it go? How was the implementation? Like, are you
No.
going to tell us yet if it worked? If it didn't work, like, how are you feeling? Do you have any nausea yet? Like, because there's a chance that like it might not like be
Yeah.
successful in that first implementation. Like, I think that achieves the opposite of the desired result of like
Yeah.
knocking down your stress levels. And so I get that. And I think that for your own like safety and mental health, it's sort of like you've got to be able to go through that on your own time without
Yeah.
feeling like you're accountable for reporting back to all of the people in your life every minute, every hour.
That's the thing. And like I already am doing it because I've been so fucking open with friends about this and like now with this with the world. So like I already feel like I'm giving updates left and right. And it's
Yeah.
not like my friends are like harrowing me for up, but people are just excited for you. But I totally see why some people wouldn't even talk about why they're going through it because of what you just said. Like, yeah, you don't know what will happen and you don't know if the transfers will work, God forbid. And so yeah, I mean, it's just that's what we're all I can tell you right now is I'm trying to stay healthy. I'm trying to have fun, but
Yeah.
also stay healthy and keep my body like in a good spot. And it is a mind fuck though when you're doing this and you're like planning to use this to get pregnant because it just feels so weird and scientific because you're like, and now on this date, I will impregnate myself with baby. And
Yeah.
it's just so different than like trying naturally. And that's what I was kind of alluding to when we recorded the first episode about it. And I was saying that it's mixed emotions because I was like, okay, we've been trying naturally. If a baby comes, I'd be happy, obviously, out of natural conception. But with this, it does feel like scientific and weird to be like planning. But I'm at the same time, I'm super grateful to be able to do it. And I know millions of people every day do it. So, yeah,
It's a shared experience for you with a lot of people now, I think.
yeah, for sure. Thanks for letting me ramble. I just felt like it was time for an update because I'm getting,
Thanks for giving it to us. We appreciate
questions.
you sharing everything with us too.
Of
I think we
course.
know that it's not to be taken lightly.
I like don't know how not to share, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's probably why you do what you do.
True.
But thank you for giving us an update. We will all be thinking of and praying for you whenever it happens, whenever you feel the need to give another update, and just throughout the next few months.
Yeah.
And that all of your hormones hopefully re-regulate soon and you feel better.
Well, and the thing is, like, thank you so much, first of all. The thing is, I feel so much more comfortable giving an update here than like another platform just because it's me physically talking. I don't like,
Yeah.
I do these like story ask me anythings and it feels weird. I don't know. There's men there. There's,
Yeah, it doesn't it yeah, it's definitely a different thing because I don't think we feel like men listen to this unless somebody like shows their partner or spouse.
yeah, which low key, like, actually, I feel like men do listen to this, like partners.
Who are you?
We got like
Yeah.
a DM or an email or something.
Yeah, listening together. Okay, which on that note, we do have an email. Um, it's an interesting one, and she wanted us to read it in our Christmas episode. And I mean, whatever. I'm surrounded by half, like 2% of my Christmas decor right now. I'm like looking at a little Grinch tree I just got at Trader Joe's. It's the season, it's holidays, it's whatever it is, it's December. So all episodes are Christmas or holiday episodes into some sense. But I felt like this would be a good one to bring up because we've been sitting on this email for over 2 weeks and I still don't have like a well crafted response. So I think we're just going to bring it to the team.
Yes.
Okay. Hi, Nicole and Caroline. I'm hoping you can do a Christmas episode because I'm literally married to the Grinch. Oh, as I just said, I'm looking at a Grinch tree. Okay. I put up our Christmas tree today and asked my husband to buy me a tree skirt, but he told me we're not buying one because it's a waste of money and now wants me to take our Christmas tree down since he doesn't see the need for it. He's never been as big on the holidays, but this feels like the worst year of him acting like this. He comes from a family of four siblings who all seem to love the holidays, so I'm not sure why he's the literally Grinch of the bunch. Yeah, I mean, can you please give me some advice as to how to enter the holiday season and not let the joy be sucked out of me? I feel so harsh writing this, but I need to know how to make the most of this. Of this.
Interesting. Okay.
I
The Grinch. You're a mean one.
Okay, I'm just going to say what I am thinking, and I'm going to say it from like how I would handle it in my point of view, and then why I feel like it's not the correct response, but why I can't like move past it. This email gives me like choice words to say. It makes me mad. It makes me pissed. And I think the reason I can't get past that is because I am married to somebody who historically has not loved the holidays. And I've made my expectations clear. I've been very transparent and open about why I love the holidays, what brings me joy about them, etc. And I think that most people, it's kind of a bummer to see somebody like not enjoy the holidays, but at the same time, there is okay, if you don't want to personally enjoy it, don't enjoy it. But you're crossing this line of disrespect when
Mm-hmm.
you demand somebody else doesn't get to enjoy it, or you feel like, I don't know, obviously, you feel so entitled to like rip them down
Of
or
their joy.
of their joy. And I feel like some of this, like the refusing to buy the tree skirt because it's a waste of money, is a little manipulative and like weird. And I think
Mhm.
that I can't see past my reaction of like pure shock and frustration because if it were me in that situation, I would go off. Like,
Well, yeah, I mean, uh, this like I'm fully mad for her. Like this
yeah,
isn't an email where I can even like rationalize with the Grinch, really. I can't like, and I'm not even like a Christmas fiend. This year I like weirdly am, but I love Christmas, but I'm not like, I feel like you like are literal Cindy Lou Who. Um but I would never ever try to strip somebody, especially my partner, of their Christmas holiday joy. And yeah, that I agree. The whole like tree skirt's a waste of money. We don't even need one. Let's now take the tree down. That's a weird control, like manipulation tactic. Not to be super dramatic, but it like,
it
what?
is
Take
though.
our
And
tree down
I
since
don't
I
want
don't
to
see a
air.
need?
Yeah. I don't want to air both of our like dirty laundry, but I feel like these stories are like fine. I'm thinking of two instances right now in both of our marriages where like one
Oh,
person has
fuck.
wanted something more festive than the other person. And though, like, okay. So in my situation, I recall like the first year, like when John and I were engaged or whatever, I wanted to like decorate for Christmas together. And we were decorating and we still lived apart. And so I remember he's like allergic to Christmas trees. And I'm not like in the same, like, in the same way you're like allergic to
Love the
dust, you know what I
allergies.
mean? So like for
Yeah.
years, I took him very seriously that he was allergic. And then I was like, bro, you just like don't want a real Christmas tree. Like you're allergic in the sense of like you would take your allergy medicine each day, the same way that you already take your allergy medicine each day. And like it's okay. But I recall that I got like a fake Christmas tree one year because I what my roommate didn't want a real one that year. My apartment building didn't allow it, which I'd previously ignored. And he was like, oh, like
Well,
I'm
and
allergic.
I can get people not wanting a real tree
Oh,
because
yeah.
we have one right now and it's a full-time job.
And I love having a real tree. I love the way it smells. But I think that if you want, like, you should be able to get whatever tree
Right.
you
But
want to
moral
get.
of the story is John did it because you, right? Like
Well,
he
yeah. Well, that year I got a fake tree, but I recall when we were like decorating and he was listening to like rap music on his AirPods and he just looked begrudged to be there helping me decorate.
Oh god.
And I
Oh
just,
god. What?
I, he just was like, felt like it was a chore. But he was still doing it. Like, he just
Oh,
wasn't having fun the way that I was doing it. And
no,
I
it should be
realized,
decorating the tree should be like a whole even I'm like, let's
yeah,
drinks, let's put on
but
music.
even ever since, and it has been, and not even to air his business, but like, I literally was like, John, you being here and helping and whatever, and like, that's not like enough. This is like an experience and a memory.
Right.
What's the deal with the attitude?
You're like, I
And
need your enthusiasm in this with
yeah,
me. Like, give me this if you love me.
right. And I remember that was enough for me to get upset. And he wasn't even like refusing to be a part of any Christmas activity whatsoever. So, like, that was enough for me to be like, and if you're not going to be here 100%, then we need to sit down and talk about it because this is something that it should be easy for us to find a way to enjoy this together. And in that situation, it was more about the fact that like his family really doesn't decorate anymore, which I know, but it always was seen as a chore for him and his entire family. And so that's the way that he like experienced decorating for Christmas. And I'm like, that's not how I
Mm-hmm.
do it. So we're just gonna have to rewrite the script really quickly so that you can experience doing it in a different way. And like now it's fun and great. And we do all these Christmas dates throughout the year and it's amazing. And then for you, I recall, I think it was last year.
Not this.
No, Mike really wanted to go get the tree. And you're like, Mike,
It
like,
it was
I
also
don't want
like
to get it right now.
October. Like it was I was like, Mike, can we get the
But
tree when it makes sense?
yeah, you were like, I don't want to do it right now. And it, especially because last
We were
year,
like
Nikki was
out
way more into Halloween than Christmas, but Mike was just waiting, counting down the days to like put the Christmas tree up, which I can relate to. And Mike went and got the tree. And
alone.
Nikki was not mad. Like you weren't mad. You giggled. You were like, that is so funny. You were like, let
Well,
me
and
go
in
home and
this
help this man
instance,
decorate.
for context, like for context, my sister was in the city for a work thing. So I was like entertaining her and her friend, and Mike was with us for a little bit of that. But like he had to go take Louis out anyways and go back to Hoboken. And so he was like, I found a tree farm and I'm gonna swing by the tree farm and get a little
Yeah.
tree. And this was like a tinier tree because and so like I was like, sure, go get your fucking tree if you'd like. And then we decorated it together. And I was like
Yeah.
glad. I was like
But my
saving
point is, you don't always have to be on the same page about holiday
right.
things all the time. But that's not my issue that and that's a totally different conversation we can also have that he, for some reason, doesn't like the holidays as much as his family. My problem is the reaction. Like,
Yeah. Well,
why
and
is your reaction so volatile to your partner finding joy in something that you don't? Like,
right. Well, and like I would even go to the extent, I'm not at all saying that this man doesn't love you, listener, listening. I'm sure he shows you love in other ways, but I just feel like a true act of like caring for your partner is not only letting them do the things that make them happy. So if that means like decorating for the holidays, let them, but also like even if it doesn't make you that happy, you go above and beyond and do it with them because you know it makes them happy. Like that's what
yeah, that's
I
what I'm saying. Like,
do with Mike. I know he gets like giddy with decorations. So
right,
I'm like hanging wreaths all around. And like low key, they do make me happy too. Like I turn the Christmas tree on
yeah,
in the morning and it makes me happy. So
exactly.
like I don't
The
know, this guy
response, the
and
response is a huge problem. Like, even when John was not, felt like he didn't come with the right energy to decorate for Christmas because that's not how, and I really have seen them decorate. And like, it is like, I got rejected when I asked to put up the tree at like this past 2 weekends ago or whatever, like at
no,
his family's
this season is going by so
so
quickly.
quickly.
I like wish we put up our tree in June at this
I
point.
do, yeah, same. But like the second that he realized that I expected him to have like a certain level of energy and it was actually supposed to be fun, like
He did
he
it.
did it. Like
Yeah.
he wasn't trying to hurt my feelings. He
Yeah.
did hurt my feelings. And then when I told him he hurt my feelings, he switched course. So like I don't like the tree skirt thing. Okay.
I will
Let's like
say
break this
one
down.
thing,
Yeah.
the trees the tree skirt thing, they are so expensive. But there's alternate, you don't have to be like, now we're not getting one and now we're taking down the tree. You could get
No, I
we
yeah.
got a tree collar from Amazon because it was less money than a expensive. Well, and because I didn't like the tree skirts that I was
Well,
seeing
my
the
tree
other day.
skirt is from Home Goods and it was 17.99. And even after I said that to myself, I was like, however, everything is tight right now for everybody. Like the economy is terrible, prices are insane, nothing's good. So like if you have to sit down and be like, that is just not how we can spend money right now, then that's not how you can spend money right now. And I want to give someone the benefit of the doubt when they say that, but to then go the next level to take a tree down that costs you zero money to put up,
Yeah, well, trees,
like why?
I mean, everything adds like trees do cost money too, but like that's not even the issue. It sounds like for
No,
him,
she
like
the tree's already up. She
he
put it
said,
up. Like it
he,
doesn't, I'm
yeah,
saying it doesn't like save you money to take the tree down.
but he also, I don't like how he said, according to her, he just doesn't see a need for it because that is very weird. Like, there's not a need for uh, me to be drinking tea right now, but I
I
like
mean,
it.
there's
Like,
not a need for his attitude either,
yeah,
if we
like
want to get into it. Like,
that's like being like the like
yeah,
you have a comfy. I don't fucking know. I don't
I
know, but
just
it's
think
weird.
there's a lot of clearly there's some major like emotional immaturity there. Whatever the reason is that like you don't like the holidays, at this point you're married, you're old enough to, I mean, you took a commitment that basically has you be tied to somebody else's well-being like for the rest of
Yeah.
your life. So you should be in a place where like if you need to sit down and ask yourself, why do I have such an aversion to the holidays? Then you need to do that. And then you need to proceed to ask yourself
Well,
why you feel like everybody else should have the same aversion. Otherwise, they've hurt you.
well, I also think for this listener, she needs to, if I were her, I would literally just like sit him down calmly and I would try to figure out like really why he's so has this aversion so much. And I would almost like sometimes men are dumb and you need to draw a parallel for them. So I'd be like, okay, I do need you to reciprocate enthusiasm with me and at least like let me be excited about Christmas and decorate. So
Yeah,
like it's kind of like how I do with you, babe, with your sports. I sit and watch your sports with you. I don't just like find something that you do for him
right.
that you don't necessarily love or enjoy doing and spell it out.
Sometimes I've noticed, but this is just the bread and butter of what we talk about. And none of us have really gone through these situations before. So sometimes it's an all in the same boat situation. Other times, maybe it's not. It's really hard when you don't have full context and when you
Yeah.
don't know people. And that makes me feel a little apprehensive sometimes about even
Giving.
answering some of these emails, but it is hard because this is a situation where I just feel extreme empathy for the listener. And I feel like she just doesn't deserve to be in a situation where her partner normalizes minimizing her joy. And I also really don't think she deserves to be in a situation where that feels like average or like
Yeah.
something that is normal.
I would, to your point about context, like that's really why I want maybe she can talk to him and get back to us with that
Yeah, would
because
love that.
I do want to know the why. Like, who know? Maybe there's some like
Mm-hmm.
crazy reason about him being like really traumatized by Christmas trees. Like, God forbid, like his grandfather died next to it by Christmas
Yeah,
tree. I don't know,
right. Well,
but
but they're
that
married. Like
doesn't
you would
give
hope she would know.
totally. But that also like even if you do have trauma around something, instead of using the response as a way to diminish joy from your
Yeah,
partner, you should just be able to talk to them and communicate and be like, listen, babe, I'm sorry. Like, Christmas trees are really triggering for me. Like, that's why I don't,
exactly.
and
Maybe she
talk it
could talk
out.
to his siblings, like,
Yeah.
and kind of get the tea there. I feel like as a sibling, like, I actually would be, I would feel like it was endearing if one of my sister's partners came to me and was like, I'm trying to figure this thing out about her. And
Yeah.
I would love and could definitely use some context. Like, I would feel like that meant
You
they really
care.
cared to be like a good partner. But I would also know that in that circumstance, I would be thinking, I hope that this is the opportunity for them to, my sibling being, to finally either open up about that or learn a lesson, which is being responsible for communication. Because the
Yeah.
only thing I can think about here that I often think about is I'm responsible for clearly, maturely, and kindly communicating what's important to me, what my feelings are, what my expectations are, and what my needs are. But I am not responsible for somebody else's reaction.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it goes both ways. So, if somebody communicates something to me about their expectations and needs and what brings them joy, and
Yeah.
they're just being vulnerable and honest, then it's on me to respond out of respect.
Yeah. And like regarding your point about like communicating needs, I feel it's not like she's asking for a vacation to Switzerland because they have an amazing Christmas festival there. She's asking for a tree.
And she
like
said
can we
this year.
Like, can we just like give her the tree, dude? I guess
She
this is
put up the
also
tree on her own,
I know I'm saying
which is
like let her
already
have
like
it. Let her
which is
have that.
already like if you as a partner be like, "Oh my God, why didn't you wait for me? I would have helped you."
Yeah. I guess this is also just something that for this listener listening, like, first of all, thank you for writing in. I think
Yeah.
this is totally like you can fix it, you can talk it out, you can figure out the why, but also for people that are listening that aren't married yet, this is like, I would almost put like enthusiasm about holidays up there on the list of
It's
like
important.
find out kid like how many kids they want, if
Yeah.
they want kids, like put that in there just because if that is so important to you and if that's going to bring you joy, I mean, the holiday
Yeah.
season happens literally every year without fail. Like, so I don't know, get somebody that matches your holiday freak
Energy.
and find
And if
that out.
not, like if you feel like you guys just grew up in different this does not really apply to her because she said they grew up loving holidays, but if you guys grew up in different households where holidays were like given different weight, then that's fine too. At least be on the same page about your partner, that you have equal respect for what brings the other person joy, because over time, naturally, with other things beyond holidays, with most things, like you start to have an appreciation for things that your partner has an appreciation for, simply because you spend more time doing them or learning about them, or
Mm-hmm.
like being around it. Like you start to learn like the nitty gritty about the stuff that your partner loves and appreciates. And then naturally over time, if you're like a respectful partner, you begin to have like an appreciation for it too. And bare minimum, like a respect for it,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I just, she did also say that this year is like the worst year of him acting like this, which makes me feel like
Something
this is not,
happened.
yeah, like it, not as an excuse, but it does make me feel like, if he is he having a very hard time at work, in which case, again, I've got to go back to the emotional maturity thing. Like you don't get to have a bad day at work and then come home and yell at your wife about her Christmas tree.
Yeah.
That's not
That's
the
just
right
not fair.
appropriation.
It's not fair. And that's the thing. Like, it's tough to be like, now perform and be joyous for the holidays if somebody is going through it, but they can kind of like deal with their own stuff. If they, let's say they are having a really awful time at work, they can still like work through that without diminishing your experience about something that makes you happy. And like like people can have some grace to like not always be on. Like, I don't expect, you don't expect John, I don't expect Mike to always be like 1000% on, getting as enthusiastic about the things we like as we are. But at the same time, like, I don't know, it's like
There's
for the
I
things
just,
that are important to us, let like be
I
on,
feel
or at
like
least let us have.
I think he just crossed the respect boundary. And I feel like obviously she's asking what she can do to have the same joy of the holidays. I would add on to what you said about them having a conversation. I would recommend circling, and I think she can look up what that is. But I feel like this would be a good opportunity to do that, where basically you set a timer, and I think she should go first. And you get 2 minutes to talk, and it goes on a timer, and it is uninterrupted. And like the person cannot interrupt you in your 2 minutes. And you also have to take the entire time, and you
Mm,
start however you want. Like, and if you want to spend that time sitting there dead silent quietly, you can, but you don't get to like forfeit your time, which, and I'm not saying all men are the same, but like, I think for a lot of men, they kind of think like, oh, I don't want to do this, or this is stupid, or I don't have anything to say, or like they take sometimes more of a stoic approach. So it's like, great, then sit there silently. And what ends up happening is you can't sit there silently that entire time. So you might pout for a minute, and then he's going to inevitably say something, because no one can just sit there actually silently. Like they're just going to get so frustrated sitting there in
yeah.
silence that they end up blurting out the thing that they were like trying to stoically not say.
Have
But
you and John ever done that? Because we haven't, but I feel like it would be kind
yeah,
of
John and I do it. My parents actually
told
taught,
you
yeah, my parents actually taught John and I how to do it. And we do it for like all
arguments.
major, yeah, like anything major, not even just arguments, like any major decision that's stressful,
Yeah.
we can like feel each other getting emotionally heightened about and like panicky, like just because it's stressful. And like, again, we don't honestly like, John is 28. I just turned 30. Like, I really don't feel equipped to make some of these decisions that we have to make. And so it's a good time to be able to do that and then have this like separated time where you basically just get to like verbalize and rant without anybody interrupting,
Interrupting.
and you get what you need. It helps me figure out how I feel. Like it takes rounds and then I'll be like, "Oh, okay, so I think this is what I like couldn't
See,
identify that
I
I
love
felt."
that idea. I'm trying to picture if Mike and I did it. I feel like I wouldn't be as good because my favorite thing is to like react to what he says. So
It's
like
hard. No, that's mine too. That's the most challenging.
do
It's
you
like
feel
you're
like you
like
have to have like a
scribbling.
2 minute speech prepared? Give me anxiety. Or like I
No,
would be really good
you
at it
don't.
and Mike wouldn't, and I would just
Yeah,
like
it takes time
slam
though. You
him.
go 2 minutes and then they go 2 minutes. And then you go 2 minutes and then they go 2 minutes. And then there is a certain set of rules of like how many times you do this. I prefer to follow a little more like intuitively. Like at first, each person needs the 2 minutes because one person has a lot to say. The other person, it takes them a minute to get comfortable saying what they've been thinking. And then you just sort of have to like, you're individually hashing out what you're feeling. And for her in the situation, she would be explaining or expressing how he hurt her and how she feels like disrespected or like he's taking something out on her. And then also expressing that she feels like there's something deeper and that he needs to be responsible for communicating that to her, not her responsible for being the hurt one because he needs to like hurt somebody else. And then
You have
he
to
would
have
be,
massive self control to
oh,
do
it's
the two
so
minute thing.
difficult.
Like
But
I'm
then,
a little too emotional. I'd probably just like blurt in the middle and be like, fuck the 2 minutes.
no, it's really hard. But I think what happens is that that's the point because by the end of the other person's 2 minutes, you've forgotten all of the things that you wanted to lash out and to be offensive
It
about.
forces you to actually listen.
It forces you to listen. And also, it forces you to see past the responses that we tend to have because all you can remember to say or share or respond with is what you truly feel, not
Yeah.
not your lashes back out to what they said. Like when you want to play ping pong with them, and sometimes it gets in for tit for tat. Like you
I'm gonna
kind of,
try it next time we have an argument. I'm just gonna whip out a timer,
it is
and Mike's
interesting
gonna
though
be like,
because
"What?"
there are things that John has said in the 2 minutes where I'm like, oh, I really need to address it. He just said that, and I'll remember to do it in my 2 minutes. But if there's something that I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe he just said that. This is what I'm going to say back. I forget by the time my 2 minutes comes
Yeah,
around. So I think it naturally filters out what's important enough for you to say versus what is like your short-term memory loss is going to forget in like a minute anyways.
yeah, I kind of fuck with it.
So you do 2 minutes. And then what I would encourage intuitively, when you feel like you don't each need the 2 minutes anymore, you go to 1 minute each. So it shortens the like
Yeah.
convo. And then when you feel like you're ready, you get to go to 30 seconds each. And then that at that point, it's like closure. Like you can't stop until you both hear each other, respect it, and you like have closure. And it has never not worked.
Wow.
So I would try
I'm
that
gonna take it
because
out during like little things. Like Mike's gonna be like almond or oat milk, and I'm gonna be like, you know
two
what?
minutes.
2 minute timer starts now. Okay. um,
But I would
no, but
try.
that's fun. I like
I would
that.
try
I like
because
that tactic.
he might not.
I want more context about him and their
Yeah,
relationship too.
but I would try that if I were her. And then if that doesn't work, I would say this brings me joy and I didn't ask your permission
Yeah.
and I'm going to do it anyways. And while I know that that's an upsetting feeling because you feel like you're in an island all alone and your partner isn't like supporting you or bringing you joy and it's a separate level of anxiety, if you're able to compartmentalize a little bit and sort of like stand on business for yourself for a second and say, I am not married to you because I need your permission. I,
Mm-hmm.
I'm married to you because I enjoy having a partner, and I've
Yeah.
tried to communicate very nicely that this is what I need to bring me joy during the season, and I've tried to give you the chance to support me and that goal and what's important to me, and you haven't. But it wasn't an invitation to decline or like
Yeah.
forebode
I'm
me from
still doing
something.
it. Yeah, like I get to put up the tree. I would, yeah, stand
Yeah,
on business with that. I also think like in the same vein, again, for this listener, I know we've like come in hot and we're like mad at him, right? I'm not
yeah,
saying I would never be like be done with him over this, right? But so definitely say all those things you just mentioned, talk to him about that and express it's more about the principle, right? It's more about the
yeah.
fact that he's saying no to something that makes you happy. Like work that
Mhm.
out. But devil's advocate, same vein, whatever. I guess like something I'm realizing is we can't expect our partners to fulfill every single like joy and need for us. Like sometimes we're just gonna have to go to other people to get some needs fulfilled, or better yet, go within to get those needs
I
fulfilled.
mean, she really should just go to his mom and ask for a Christmas tree skirt for Christmas
Yeah,
and
truly.
just
But
be
in
like,
terms of like the celebrating the joy and having like it sucks because your partner is the person you want to do that with, but for her in the meantime until her and her partner work that out and are able to do it together, I'd use this as a chance to like celebrate with friends more,
yeah,
celebrate like do the fun Christmassy stuff with
mhm,
other people that are
yeah.
gonna be happier and more enthusiastic, and maybe he'll get FOMO and see you doing that and be like, oh, you know what, I do want to celebrate Christmas with my wife. And maybe he already does. We make all these assumptions. Like maybe he loves watching Christmas movies, hates the Christmas tree, but based on what she's saying, she said
It
literally,
doesn't sound like that.
I'm married to the Grinch. There's an issue there. Like we should never, I mean, that's funny to say. And like Mike's called me the Grinch before in
Yeah, and
jest.
I've called John the Grinch before, and we've all like he has a little Grinch mug at my house. It's a joke though. It's not
Yeah.
like a
As we know, I literally dress up as the Grinch
right.
and
If you
Cindy Lou
can't
Who.
if you're taking it, and I think maybe this is another boundary that we can all practice because we live in a world of social media and we're, we all share way too much stuff on the internet. But it's okay to like Jones each other as a couple, and it's okay to have little anecdotes. But I do think there's like a baseline of like, hey, like if Mike calls you the Grinch or I call John the Grinch, like it's it's a joke.
Yeah.
And so it's not, if this were like a true sentiment of like, I have shed tears because of how his attitude has like determined what I have been allowed to and not allowed to do when it
Mhm.
comes to something important to me. Like that's not a joke, and that's different. I think doing something in jest with your partner, as long as both people know that it's lighthearted and comes from a funny place, is fine. And then as soon as
Yeah, but
it hurts
also
the other person, you stop.
yeah, I was gonna say one of our big qualms, which this is a whole nother episode, so I'll spare everybody. But the other day I blew up on Mike for making jokes but masking it, or no, be making rude comments but masking it as jokes, and that's my
Yeah,
biggest pet peeve in the
I don't like that
like
either.
so like that. If we ever fight, it's about that.
That
Oh,
makes sense. And I do think, but
wait,
that's the difference is you do not exist to hurt your partner. Like, even if your partner gets upset at something that would not upset you, that doesn't mean that they're not allowed to be upset at it. You should care more about the fact that
yeah,
they're upset than whether or not you would get upset at what
yes,
they're getting upset about, and how then it's not your fault to know that they would get upset over it. Like there's a whole line of things that you could go down if you really wanted to be that person. But at the end of the day, do you care more about being right and like protecting your innocence, or do you care more about your partner feeling loved and not feeling hurt? Like as far as
yeah,
I'm concerned, if I said something over and over again that I felt like was a joke and that I would never take seriously, and then one day John was like, that actually really hurts my feelings, my
you
energy
would
would go to
stop.
apologizing and never doing it again, even if it's not a trigger for me. I have
Yeah.
no like it's programmed in me to accept that that's a trigger for him because
Mhm.
it's not worth like hurting his feelings, and I never want to see him
Right.
hurt. Like that's
If
where
I've
your
ever
energy should go.
said if I've ever said that to Mike, been like, hey, that's actually not a funny fucking joke at all, and it's makes me sad.
Yeah.
Immediately he's like, oh my God. Like, even if he doesn't
Alarms
agree,
go off. They're like, oh
he's
crap.
like, I'm
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I will never make that again. Um, on that note, we should talk about that subject in a whole nother episode because we could go on and on. But this has been grand. I'm taking out my rollers as we speak, and I'm gonna hate it because I don't like when I do rollers. I don't know why I think I'm going to. But we'd love to hear from all of you more. So please email us at honeywe'rehomepodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram, honeywe'rehomepod.
And
And
leave us a voice note at
yes.
speakpipe/honeywe'rehome. And you can find that in our Instagram bio as well. If you guys have any, I mean, and this is just an honest question request. If you have any experience with this situation or just like being in a family where like one person is adverse to the holidays or like what that could mean or any advice or personal boundaries that you've created or relationships that you've been able to navigate this type of difference in, please leave us a voicemail, give us an email. I think that whatever in this situation, just having the most information possible is probably helpful.
All right. Ho, ho, ho. We love you. We love you, hoes.
Stay hot.